What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And you know, there's some type of people who, they'll let certain things go if it seems like, it ain't important, or if it appears to be too hard, or if they think that there's going to be a lot of sacrifice or resistance. Most folks would take the least path of resistance. It's like, if you're going to let me go that route where I don't have to run over a whole bunch of hills and valleys and through a whole troop, then I'll go that route instead of going the hard way. Most folks, when danger is in their face, they take off running the other way. And I watch a lot of, little mystery clips on YouTube and stuff like that. And I always watch these little videos where people will see what they think to be a Bigfoot. Yeah, and I'm sitting there watching this. Some people get scared and be like, oh my God, and they freak out and you see the camera like, boo, 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 but then there's those other kind that just won't let it go. They're sitting there like, oh, don't let me see a Bigfoot. I'm going to drag him out of the bushes by those big feet and show everybody, look what I caught. I caught me a Bigfoot. I'm that kind of dude. So when I see something that I say, man, note to self, I got to address this. Or if I say, I'm looking at this situation and you know what? Why bother with the headache? No, that's not me. I want the headache. You let me see a Bigfoot, he's coming home with me. I'm going to drag him out of the bushes by those big 18, 19, 20-inch feet, whatever he got, and that big ponytail of hair on top of his head, stuff him in the back seat, and get on the news like, dude, I got a Bigfoot in the back of the car. And worst case scenario, you find me in the bushes, me and the Bigfoot dead, because I ain't going out like that. They'd be like, oh, he went out like a G. Yeah, the Bigfoot choked him to death, but somehow he managed to get those little teeny hands of his around that Bigfoot's neck, and they both choked each other to death. Well, I didn't forget, and I ain't running away from this Bigfoot that I have to deal with because I didn't get a chance to deal with her the other day during my live show. None other than Bigfoot Joy Reid. That's right, she thought I forgot. She thought I was riding past, got a quick snapshot of her, spreading all types of lies and propaganda, and was like, I know to self, deal with that if you remember. No. I made it my mission to remember. I said, let me stop and turn the car around. I'm getting out. If I don't make it back, revenge my death. But I'm going in the bushes and drag Bigfoot Joy Reid right out. So now let's get into this. Welcome to Kevin's Corner. Sorry, my intro, I got to be over, dramatic with the intro and bring y'all all back. All y'all watch some shows and like, hey, I wonder if there really is a Bigfoot. I heard some noises in my backyard. Well, this woman, Joy Reid, oh my goodness. Now, I did a video about April Ryan. She's pretty bad. She's pretty horrible, but boy. See, think with April is they know not to send her out too much. See, they don't want to give you an overdose of April Ryan. They're like, oh man, we got to give them little spurts because we don't want them to OD on April Ryan. She's too much of a heavy dose. She'll mess around and embarrass the whole family. But Joy, y'all get a dose of her. I don't know when her show is, but it's consistent. And she comes out with this gaslighting that is so horrible that I said, note to self, make it my mission to go after this woman and expose the fact that she's willing to straight up get on TV and say, how much will you pay me to tell lies, divide the country, and cause all types of damage, irreversible? So let's listen to Joy Reid's take on the narrative coming out of, I guess, what she believes the right, Trump, Mike Pence, and all of them.
Trump supporters, lackeys, and sycophants have presented a fantasyland version of reality, full of dark warnings of a future under Democrats, amplified last night by Vice President Mike Pence.
Now you hear the intro? dark, American under Democrat.
Last week, Joe Biden didn't say one word about the violence and chaos engulfing cities across this country. The violence must stop, whether in Minneapolis, Portland, or Kenosha. We will have law and order on the streets of this country for every American of every race and creed and color. The hard truth is, you won't be safe in Joe Biden's America.
Do you think that what Mike Pence is describing, what Trump's been describing, is all a lie? Now, I want y'all to understand this. This was pre-polls that said that there's a lot of violence going on and people are afraid. People are concerned, saying, hey, now wait just a minute, mister. Y'all told me that Trump killed about 80 million people for, COVID. And I was, all right, I'm a little concerned. Now y'all trying to tell me that all these folks burning stuff, tearing up stuff are mostly peaceful. And I just looked outside and saw my whole SUV going up in flames. So I'm getting a little concerned about this. Now, this was pre the polls. Let's see how hypocritical and fake the news really is and see how this narrative changed real quick.
In Joe Biden's America, says the sitting vice president of the United States. In an interview with my colleague Andrea Mitchell earlier today, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden stated the obvious.
The problem we have right now is we're in Donald Trump's America. He views this as a political benefit to him. He's rooting for more violence, not less. And it's clear about that. And what's he doing? He's kept pouring gasoline on the fire. This happens to be Donald Trump's America.
Now, did y'all hear creep, sleep, slop, slime? Did y'all hear that, man? He's fueling and he's pouring more fuel on a fire. And he's, speaking of fire, I tell you what. I remember it was 1972, and I was at an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert, and I sure was enjoying myself. I wrote all their songs, right? I wrote all those Earth, Wind, and Fire songs, yeah. And while I was listening to it, I said to myself, you know what? I can sure go for a cold ice cream and a good sip of lemonade. So I told the young woman that I was courting, you got a nickel on you? I'm going to go and get some lemonade. What? Oh, I'm in the middle of a... okay, yeah. So now back to Donald Trump pouring fire on the gas. Wait, something like that. Anyway, he's wrong. He's racist. So you sit back and hear Joe Biden not addressing any of the violence. And then when he does talk about it, he has a complete twisted view of it. In his mind, by addressing it, calling it out, you are flaming the fire. I mean, that's pretty unique. By pointing out, hey, dude, you can't go around killing people and eating them, okay? By doing that, by calling out a serial killer who does this, you know what you're doing? You're encouraging him to continue doing it. That's what you're doing. You're making him even more angry and want to eat more people. That's what you're doing. See, you hear this logic? These are the folks that want to run the country. These are the folks that are willing to allow chaos if it serves or benefits them. These are the folks that's willing to get on TV and gaslight and lie to everyone, even though your own eyes are seeing that they're lying. But I just can't get it. I don't understand how folks that watch this garbage see what we've been seeing and still go, that's pretty true. And I'm going, you listen to Joe Biden say that? Oh, this is Donald Trump's America, but you know what? Those are Democrat cities. That's what they are. Yep. See, that's the commonality that they all have. They're all Democrat cities. And you know what else? Talking about Trump stoking all the violence. When did you hear Trump say, hey, all of you conservative patriots go out in the streets and follow folks, show up at restaurants, harass at them, all of that stuff? I think it was Hillary Clinton and her campaign that were sending all these antagonizers into Trump's rallies to start trouble. And when they got thrown out, Trump's inciting violence. I think it was them that were doing that. All of this stuff that's going on that they've been lying to all of y'all saying they're peaceful, mostly peaceful protests. You don't see no MAGA hats in these crowds, but yet Trump is inciting the violence. He's the only one talking about stopping it. Now back to you know who. peanut head, Bigfoot Joy Reid.
If I want to talk about safety, the biggest safety issue is all the people dying from COVID.
The biggest safety is all the people that's dying from COVID, like he knows that number. You know what, matter of fact, let's check out his view of COVID.
Under Donald Trump, COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years.
Did y'all hear that word salad? That random, just straight up balloon drop of words in no particular order, just random words. I mean, every time you listen to Joe, it's like playing Scrabble. You got to put it all together. You know, all right, let me see here. Can I make a whole word in it? All right, here we go. You know what? Get the dictionary, because I don't speak Jobaden. None of that. But yet, that's what he's telling. He should be worried about. This dude, this is the guy that's supposed to bring harmony and unity to the United States when he was an integral part of destroying it. Are you kidding me? But yet, Bigfoot Joy Reid got the nerve to come out and defend this mess and straight up lie to everybody. Because see, you know why? All those other impressionable white liberals and angry black folks, for whatever reason, they can't see through this crap. They're the ones that got to live with the fallout, the carnage. See, she is rich. She gets on TV, lies, make everybody upset, make them mad, give them a reason to feel better on the inside, because she's been lying to them saying that Trump's a racist, white nationalist, and he's stoking all of this violence. But yet, none of the violence comes to her neighborhood. All the folks that's committing the violence are not people like her. She just sits back and encourages it. That's what she does. But let's go ahead and finish listening to this propaganda.
So many of us are not safe in Donald Trump's America, which we've seen not just in the 5 million COVID cases and 180,000 deaths, but also in what we should warn you are graphic images out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. Even as Trump's convention has offered up its alternative reality, in actual reality, a Kenosha police officer fires 7 shots into Jacob Blake's back as he tries to get into his car, while his children watch.
Now, we just have learned that all those deaths were stacked. All those deaths she's talking about was just a whole bunch of garbage. All of those bodies that she's throwing on Trump, come to find out, those numbers were padded. She owes Trump an apology. That's what she should get. Instead of that, she's going to continue lying to everybody. See, so she's bringing that up, but now y'all ready for the big lie? Because we always knew, they've been lying about the COVID thing. Because see, here's the 2 things that they want to keep in the mind of their raggedy voters, their raggedy viewers. Number 1, COVID. You got to keep that going in your mind. See, justify why everybody got to mail in votes and why Biden can't get out there in the streets and all that stuff. Now, you got to keep that going. Then the second one is, now, how do we address the fact that we've been lying to y'all about all of this violence that we encouraged, and with a straight face tell you that it's Trump? Let's just say that these are all white nationalists. That seems to have worked so far, right? Okay, Joy, you're up. So let's finish this.
And in reality, days later, police allowed a teenage boy with a gun to roam through the streets, where he later opened fire, shooting 2 people. When the smoke cleared, those 2 people were dead. We do not know what happened beforehand or after the video stops, of course, but that is the reality of Donald Trump's America, as unrest over yet another shooting of a black man spreads across this country. Trump has led for the last 3.5 years. This dystopian future that was painted at his circus over the last 3 nights, that's a fantasy.
Now, it almost makes me want to jump in my car, maybe my man Jeep or my man motorcycle or something manly, because, I suffer from all of that toxic masculinity that the left hates. So everything has to have man in front of it. But I want to get in my man Jeep, drive all the way to wherever they film, and have a guest appearance, a cameo appearance, right there in front of Joy Reid, so that America could see a rational, sane black man who supports Americans, black people, all people in America, white, black, Latino, otherwise, and want to see us all get along and look at certain situations and judge them based off of the facts versus a lying propagandist that just got out there and told y'all peaceful black man opens his door, gets shot by some white racist cops, and then they just turn loose this racist white nationalist to run the streets with his AR, 15, and decides, you know what, I'm just going to start shooting all of these peaceful protesters. Left out a lot of details, like, hey, first of all, if that city and mayor would have did their job, all of those people wouldn't be out there that time of the night protesting, violating the curfew. I don't know about you, but if the rioters and the looters aren't obeying the curfew, then why would the people protecting all of their property, home, and businesses go in the house to honor the curfew when the folks who's tearing up stuff is not honoring the curfew? Secondly, she forgot to tell you that that young man worked in that city, didn't go cross county lines, get his gun and come back. Somebody gave him the gun. He was able to have it as a 16, 17-year-old. That's type of gun. And she also forgot to tell you, because she wants y'all to believe he's just a white nationalist that showed up to kill folks. That's news to me. That doesn't even ring any type of logic in my mind. And see, because they got raggedy audiences, they're not thinking about this. They're sitting back saying, whatever Joy Reid just said sounds good because I want to believe this fake, phony narrative. That's what I want to do. Well, okay, let's go ahead and run it through the synthesizer of rationality and truth. This dude comes to kill folks, but for whatever reason, he mingles amongst all the rioters with his fanny pack on his hip that has a first aid kit. Why do you have that? Are you trying to save all the folks you're about to shoot and kill? Because that's why you came, right? That's why you came. Okay, so he got the fanny pack and he got some first aid gloves on the whole time. Now, just me thinking out loud, having that military like mind, I'm thinking that's a dangerous position to put myself in if I come there to kill folks. So instead of walking amongst those that I came to kill and having my gun hanging down, I probably would either be walking through the streets like this or did the smart thing, climbed up on a building, took a nice high position and start picking people off. See, but yet she wants y'all to believe that this kid just comes there to kill folks. That's what he did. And these people were not out there protesting violently, rioting, tearing up stuff. No, they were just walking around looking at the scenery. This place is really nice. Don't you think so, hon? Pow, pow, pow. That's what she wants y'all to think. In reality, they chased this young man and his survival skills kicked in. Managed to get away from one dude that was a grown man chasing him after throwing something at him, got shot, then called the police and was trying to help the guy he shot. I mean, that doesn't seem like a white nationalist to me. Then he leaves because the crowd is angry, chased him again. Through the whole time, he was on the run. Not once did he take a offensive position. Running as the other guy chases him. Falls, hits him in the head with the skateboard, tries to kick him. He gets shot. I'm just saying. And then the dude with the handgun that shouldn't have had that handgun and should be arrested as well. I mean, that was illegal. Cal was able to have this gun. Then this guy pulls out a gun and aim, bang, he gets shot. Then the young man gets up, shoots in the air twice. Now, why would you shoot warning shots to make people run if you came there to kill them? I'm just saying. That would have been a perfect opportunity as all these people that were chasing to kill you starts running, just start picking them off. Why didn't he lay into the guy he just shot in the arm about 3 or 4 more times? I mean, well, make sure you finish him off, right? Oh, or should he just say, let me shoot him to make sure he don't kill me. Now that I see he's no longer a threat, I'm not going to fire anymore. Gets up, walks to the cops. But yet they want to demonize this kid. And they're about to make him the next Nick Sandman. That's what they're about to do. Because of people like her. And got the nerve to say, now this is Donald Trump's America. Those are Democrat cities, mayors, and governors. And the narrative that got our society to what it is right now all came from Democrats who couldn't take a loss and used impressionable minorities and white liberals' guilt to drive a narrative that everything Trump addresses, all of the policies and stuff, his statements, all of that is coming from a place of racism and white nationalism. Sad part is some folks are dumb enough to believe it. And that's why we got to the point where we're at now. Because of people like Joy Reid. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Did I go up in the bushes and drag that Bigfoot out? Yeah, Bigfoot thought all I wanted to do is take a snapshot and keep it moving. No. I had to go and drag it out and show proof that this is a Bigfoot. Anyway, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. Check me out every Wednesday night live in Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, and my radio blog talk show. Check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like their products, click on something, put Kevin in the promo code, you get a 20% discount. Make sure you're still subscribed and you have your notifications set to all. And let's get to that 200,000 mark that YouTube has aggressively tried to stop me from reaching. But anyway, it is what it is. I just roll with the element until times get better. And then finally, if you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, feel free. Links below. God bless. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner.